I'm about to start a 24-hour fast while having PKU. The plan here is to only drink water, consume no food for the 24-hour period, and also, more importantly, consume no PKU supplements. Currently I use PKU Sphere, which is my protein supplement of choice. I will not be consuming that throughout that 24-hour window. So some of you may say, well, why are you doing this? The reason is I kind of want to test my body. There's no research out there really that I know of where people have done this. The general public, the people without this condition, can do it and do fast, and it's not a problem. But from what I know and what I've heard and what I've learned over more recent times, is that by not consuming food, our calories, we're not getting that in our body, we're going to lose weight. And by doing so, not only will we lose weight, we could potentially go catabolic, meaning that we essentially eat our muscles. And when that happens, they release Phe into our bloodstream. Now, hopefully I've got this correct. And what that means then is our Phe levels can increase. See, a long time ago, I just thought it was eat food, eat too much protein in food, Phe levels increase. But knowing that if I want to lose weight and I lose weight too quickly, that can also increase my Phe levels, kind of changed everything. Now, I'm not doing this for weight loss purposes. I'm doing this because from my research and from learning about fasting, I know there's a certain time period of a fast when it becomes extremely beneficial for the body. It can cleanse the body. Yes, it can lose weight, but it also can help regenerate apparently cells, and it's just generally good for us. But recently, since learning about this, I know this, but I also know with PKU there's a whole nother layer, a whole nother set of parameters that we have to consider. So this is not for weight loss. This is to test the body to see what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure I know my Phe levels are going to go up, but how much is the question. I'm also doing this with the approval of my dietitian and clinic team. They're aware that I'm doing this, and I'll be doing blood tests as a result of this too. I know of one other person who lives in Canada who has done this. They didn't, to my understanding, have any access to Sapropterin, Kuvan, Palynziq, or any form of PKU medication, I believe. So this then is with those types of medications. I'm on Sapropterin. It will be interesting for me to know how and if Sapropterin plays a part in helping to reduce that climb of Phe levels increasing because of a 24-hour fast. What I would like to do is to do this, see what the outcome is, and then at some point maybe consider doing a 48-hour. But we have to get this one done first. So let's do it. So it is currently nearly 11 p.m. at night. I started this at 8 a.m. and sorry, I've got a little doggy that's trying to get up. So started this at 8 and I've pretty much done just over half, haven't I? I specifically started in the morning because when I got to this stage I could actually go to sleep, hopefully, and this is what I found. So I feel like it's been a day of two halves, and for those who have fasted a lot, you're probably thinking, my God, 24 hours, get over yourself. Yes? What? What do you want? What's the matter? I know, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the camera, I'm talking to those people in there. Sorry, he's going to... Serious? Right, he's going to talk all the way through it. Anyway, we're just going to carry on. So, it's been a game of two halves, really. And what I mean is, come here, give me a cuddle. What that's felt like is that I'm also not taking PKU supplement at all. But I am taking Sapropterin. And I split Sapropterin up in two halves. I took one half of the dose in the morning, and then I took the second half of the dose around about 5, 6 o'clock. What I notice is this. I notice how I felt. So, someone who's going through... Really? Someone who's going through a fast of a normal body may feel the same, I don't know. But I felt like around about maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, I started to dip and I started to get what I felt like was a bit of a fuzzy head and a bit of a subtle headache. But now it's gone, yes. Now it's gone. And I feel like that probably has something to do with Sapropterin. I took it and now it's later on in the day, night time. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever known a dog to talk as much. Anyway. What are you doing? What are you doing? I feel like that's probably helped. So this is what I'm anticipating, and I may be completely wrong here, yeah? Hello, I know, I'm talking. Come here, come say hello. So what I'm anticipating is that Sapropterin has played a significant part in it. Again, the question here is, I'm expecting my feed to go up. I just don't know how much. And I feel like between the hours of 8 in the morning till 5, 6 p.m. at night, it did incrementally increase. I just don't know how much. And there could be a placebo effect here, right? I could be thinking that I expect to feel bad, so I felt bad, and I'm not going to know until I've done the bloods. So in hindsight, what I would like to have done, and I would get this approved by clinic first, is I wish I'd have took bloods just before I took Sapropterin, halfway through the day. So I would effectively, in a 24-hour window, take 3 blood tests. 1 just before I started, 2 halfway through the day before Sapropterin, 3 at the end. And I'm blessed and fortunate to even have Sapropterin, but I do think it's going to play a part in this process. Now, one aspect of Sapropterin is that I've heard it functions better when it's taken with fat, i.e. food fat, so whatever that might be. In this particular scenario, I'm taking nothing at all, so maybe its effect is not as good, I don't know, but I do feel different than what I did feel earlier in the day. So I'm expecting that I started at whatever range I started at, and it's gone up slightly during the day, and then Sapropterin's dropped it down a bit. So how I'm feeling now, I'm feeling pretty good now, to be honest. I'm feeling much clearer. How I feel now, I feel like I could go longer. I say that, I do have to go longer. I have to go throughout the night. Listen, if anyone's ever done this, comment here and tell us what your experiences have been. And now he's sitting chilled. And we put these on our sofa because he's hairy and it goes everywhere. And he's not our dog, we're looking after him. I also think that this has reminded me, and it's only a 24-hour fast, but there's so many aspects of our life where I feel like we have to be really resilient, and we can focus so much on the negative aspects of this condition. There's many. There's lots of people that suffer and don't get the level of support that they need, right? I'm whispering because people are sleeping in this household, it's quite late. But I feel like this condition has made me much more resilient than if I didn't have it. Does that make sense? It's like, I feel that's the same for anyone, living with any form of hardship just makes or breaks you, right? And it's not one or the other. I feel like it breaks you over time, but then it makes you in other areas. So I feel like, and I've said this before and I'll keep saying it, long-term dietary therapy, forget long-term, lifelong, is brutal. It's really, really difficult. Most people, and this is a bit I've said before, most people can't survive on a weight loss diet longer than 12 weeks. And here we are doing it, not for that, but we're doing it at an extreme measure. And not even just this condition, there's other conditions similar to. And I feel like it gives us an edge. It gives us a lot of struggle, but it also builds that resilience, that determination, the ability to say no, the ability to deal with hunger, uncomfortable situations, sometimes rubbish foods, and choices that are pretty shitty, you know, but we have to deal with it and carry on. And this is not some stupid 14-hour fast stage, because that's not even a massive amount of time. I felt and thought this way for an incredibly long time. So I feel like at the moment that I could go longer. I'm not going to, as I mentioned earlier, but I do feel like if I didn't have this condition, I could be a pretty extreme little you know. And we're tough little we are, you know, we all are. And I may feel differently in the morning, especially when Phe levels are high. There is an element of resilience that we all have, and I think that's a wonderful point. As I finish now to go to sleep, I think that's a wonderful point to finish on. I might wake up tomorrow with Phe levels much higher, feeling total crap, and that's another point to raise. Anything I feel is achievable with this condition, but Phe level is the ultimate. It is the barrier for everything. It's the challenge that we all face. It's if that Phe level is high, everything else in our life is harder. We can become conditioned to it, I think, because we live in a cloud of it and we become used to that cloud, and it's not normal. But with a higher Phe level, it's my belief that everything else is a tougher process. If we can lower that down, we then have the benefit of all that resilience and all that life situations and circumstances that we've lived through. We have all that with us as tools and experience. And with a lower Phe level too, the experience and wisdom that comes from living with that journey and challenges, we can bring that into play. And I feel like that's the situation that I've been in for quite some time. And I've not done this diet brilliantly over the years, but you know, in the later part of my adult life, I'm smashing it, and long may that continue. Anyway, I'm going to bed. See you in the morning when I'm probably massively grumpy. Okay, so it is morning. It's 7:30. It's 24 hours later from when I first kind of started this process. So I've gone the full 24 hours, which was exactly what I wanted to do. I have weighed myself. I've done it exactly the same. I've done it before everything. So it's consistently the same as yesterday. I've been to the toilet. That's part of that too. I have just weighed myself. I've lost over the 24-hour period 1.4 kg. I have no idea what that is in pounds. I'll find that out and then put it in the video caption below. But 1.4 kg in 24 hours, I feel like that's quite a lot. Now, the issue with this is I will have gone catabolic, I think. The question is how much. But I wanted to do this as a test just to kind of see where my blood Phe levels are. Now, I did wake up with a bit of a headache. Not massive, but it reminds me of when my levels were slightly higher. So I'm going to go on a guess, and I have no idea. I've got to go and do bloods. I haven't done that yet. I'll send them off, and maybe in 3 or 4 days I'll get the results. If I could, I would have a home testing kit that I could test and in 30 minutes get my result. But that's not going to happen. I'm going to make a prediction. I might be completely wrong. I reckon before I started this, I was probably sitting around 300. I reckon I've gone up 80, maybe. No, do you know what? I reckon I've gone up 60. Maybe the feeling that I've got in here is because of the increase. Let's say 60 to 80, maybe. Sapropterin must have played a part in this process. So I feel like there has been an increase. Like I said before, I wish I would have taken my levels halfway through, because I do feel like there was an increase and then it's a decrease after. But I know someone who has done a fast and they've said that, you know, people go through these changes, energy dips, etc. Anyway, I feel pretty good, to be honest. I feel like I could go longer. And if I had my way, if I had a normal body, I would definitely be going longer. I will go longer if blood levels come back to me and they're all okay. So there you go. 1.4 kg. The head has changed. I know it has. And that can only be because of a rise in Phe. But that's the frustrating part, actually, because without PKU, I 100% know I could go longer and get all this cellular regeneration benefits that a longer fast gives us. But then maybe if I didn't have PKU, maybe I wouldn't have the resilience and the strength to go all the way through. But I know people who don't have this condition and do it. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, I'm off to go and do bloods. And the first thing I'm going to do after that is I'm going to have a protein shake. One of these. So I take the banana sphere powder. I do have the liquid variety, but I only really take that when I've got like a busy day and it's difficult to do shaky. So yeah, if you've ever done one of these fasting things, I would like to hear from you really. I feel like all our bodies are all very different, right? So we generally will react to things differently. PKU folder. I keep all PKU stuff in here. Letters, labels for blood test kits, envelopes, labels. Are blood test cards different for everyone around the world, or they notoriously follow the same visual look, where we put like our contact details here and we aim to do our blood spots here? Are they all the same? I know these are the NHS ones, i.e. for the UK, but I'm just curious. So, hunger-wise, I am hungry. I was hungry yesterday. I noticed even by like midday, like mid-afternoon, 3 o'clock, that I should have eaten, right? But then a part of that actually I think is just memory. It's the memory of eating and what we're used to from a habit point of view. So I am hungry, obviously, but hunger pains, etc. I've not experienced hunger pains, hence why I feel like from a physiological point of view, without PKU, I feel like I could go longer. Anyway, blood tests, right? So ignore the state of our house. We've got kids that don't clean after themselves. I use one of these, a pen for blood tests. I have got the one sent from the hospital actually. So I'm going to take a blood test and then I am going to send it off, and I'll restart this video when I've got the results, which will be in a few days' time. Anyway, hope you found it interesting. Comment if you've done this process before, and if you would have done things differently, give us your advice and tips. That would be super useful. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Okay, so all done, all complete, and now, more importantly, I have my blood levels back. So I did a blood test at the start and a blood test at the end. I wish, like I said before, in hindsight, I did a third test maybe halfway through, but I didn't. The first blood test revealed that my levels were sitting at 320. Again, I'll put in the, or I'll put below what that is in the different measurements that you use across the world if you're from different parts like America, etc. But 320 is the level that I had before I started this process. Now, as you saw in the video, I was convinced that my levels went up. I suggested, didn't I, that I felt like maybe between 60 and 80 it potentially went up, and this is what it reveals. So blood test that was done as soon as my fast was finished, dead on 24 hours, revealed that actually my blood level, my Phe level in my blood increased to 450. So what does that reveal? It reveals that one, it's increased. Two, I was wrong. It's actually increased by 130, which I think is quite significant actually, because it's only a 24-hour window. In just 24 hours, my Phe levels increased by 40%. When you put it in that measurement, it shows that is quite significant. Would I do it again? Yes, I would. But it doesn't mean I'll do it on a regular basis. What I would like to do is to be able to do this a few times a year, just to hopefully see the benefits well, the benefits that it gives from a health perspective. But 40%, I think 40% is quite a lot. You know, it's not 10%, is it? It's nearly half. And so what on earth would another 24 hours bring? I don't know. What do you think it would be? And that's with Sapropterin as well. So yes, Sapropterin potentially works better apparently with fat, and I'm not consuming fat because I'm fasting. So does it work as well? Who knows? But a 40% increase on 24 hours, a 48-hour, gosh, I don't even know. 75% increase, maybe, I'm not sure. So there you go. If any of you have done a fast, write in what you did, comment what you did, how you did it, what the overall outcome was. If you took bloods, then brilliant. What increase was there? Because I'm curious. This is obviously not a widespread thing. I would assume that not many people have done this. You know, I've used myself as a bit of a test, I guess. And this is what the findings have revealed. I guess though there'd be people out there that at some point in their life have been unwell, and that has meant that they couldn't eat. And so essentially that's a forced fast, isn't it? We don't know how long that might have gone on for, but I've been ill in the past and I've never measured my blood levels, so wouldn't it be interesting to know if that had a similar effect? I would assume it would have a bigger effect, because you may not be eating for 2 or 3 days. You know, we don't take supplement or we don't eat regularly when we're ill, and that's no different to the normal person. But there we go, 40% increase over a 24-hour period. And I did only consume water and Sapropterin.